Hey, welcome back. Let's take a look at the Wuben X4.
This has a good balance between throw and flood, both at the same time, which is really impressive. So there's no having to switch back between modes if you want to go from flood to throw. It's doing it both at the same time, which is pretty unique. I like that.
So here's the specs on the Wuben X4. 1500 lumens on turbo and 10,506 candela. And what I noticed when I had it outside is it's got a good amount of both throw and flood at the same time. And that's really handy.
So with that little switch on back, you can instantly get to strobe, or you can get to turbo. That's really handy. You don't want to be fumbling around to get to strobe. If you're using it for self-defense, you want to be able to instantly get to it. And with this one, you can. Or you can instantly get to the turbo mode. I like it. That's a good design.
Came in a sleeve and then packaged in a really nice box. Came with a really good set of instructions. And like the other Wuben lights we've looked at lately, came with a good wrist strap and a charging cable. This is USB-A, I think that's called USB-A, to USB-C. And here's a look at the unique setup for the emitters. It's got one emitter that has a diffusion lens on top of it, and then another one with a really good reflector behind it to push that light out there, and then two other emitters here. And then on the side here, you've got your red, green, and blue emitters, and then a gang of 6 white emitters for a really good floodlight. On the back here, you've got this little paddle switch that lets you instantly get to the turbo and also to the strobe. On the side here, you've got your on-off switch. You've got a little slider here that goes from lockout to your side lights to your light up here on the front, and then to the moonlight mode. And then when this slider is all the way up here, there is your charging port. There's also a little dial on the side here right under the on-off switch. And with this dial, you can rotate through the red, green, and blue light. What makes these red, green, blue emitters change color is the amount of voltage that you're putting to it. So it's not that there are different emitters in there, one red, one green, one blue. It's one emitter, but with a different amount of voltage going to it, it changes the tone of the color. I think that's pretty cool. And as I've said before, I really like flashlights that have a red light on it that can kind of protect your night vision. And then you just hold it down and it will go to this really nice floodlight on the side. And you can dial up or down the intensity of that light with that little wheel too. Really nice. I like that. This light is really feature rich without being overly complicated. I really like having physical switches on a flashlight, especially the lockout switch. That way you know it's not going to go off in your pocket. And I like these dials. I like being able to dial up or down the amount of light that you want and not having specific modes like low, medium, and high. You dial in the amount of light that you need for whatever the situation is. It's a good battery saving thing too. You know, if you just need a little bit of light, you can just dial it to right what you need. Really nice. I like the build quality of this too. This feels sturdy, and it's all metal. I mean, except for the switches and lenses and things. And I like this gang of emitters. Instead of just having one emitter, you've got different emitters that are throwing out a different quality of light at the same time. Very unique, and I like that. So when you're in the red, blue, and green mode, you can double click and it goes to the beacon mode. Has a really good sturdy pocket clip. I mean, it's really sturdy. You're not going to bend that one. That's a good pocket clip. I like that. And it's kind of smooth underneath it, so it's not going to tear your jeans up. I really like it. That's good. And it also has a magnetic base. And this tab here, you push that up, and then you can pivot this little lock, and there's your battery. And this is an 18650. Then the battery just drops back in there, and close it back up, and lock it. Well, thanks to Wuben for sending out another flashlight for us to check out. I really appreciate them doing that. No way I could afford to show different flashlights if we didn't get some sent to us, but I would never do a review of a bad flashlight if I just wouldn't do the video. So if you see a video of a flashlight on here, it works, and it's a good flashlight and a good design, or I would never do it. I like all the different designs of flashlights that are coming out now. The different innovations that they're doing. A few years ago, there weren't, little wheels where you could dial up or down the intensity, and I think I like that. And I like that they're going back to physical switches on lights instead of having to push buttons and get to a certain, mode, especially lockout. I really like having a physical lockout on a light because these things are getting really powerful, and you do not want a 1500 or even 1000 lumen flashlight just going off in your pocket. I don't. I'm not up there next to my junk. So it's really good to have physical switches, and they're easy to figure out, and in the dark, once you get used to where things are at, you can do this without having to look. And that's the thing about this tail switch here, is being able to, just instantly get to that light is important if it's going to be a self-defense tool as well. Like that it can tail stand so that it can bounce the light off the ceiling in a power outage. And I also like that it can be a lamp with that side light. You could set that right there and then read something in a power outage. So very nice. I like it. Link will be in the description. And thanks again to Wuben. Catch you on the next one. Bye.